What's going on, everyone? This is the Warehouse Series. If you're new to the channel, I welcome you. If you're not a member of Discord, that link is in the description below. Great warehouse community over there. Thumbs up, subscribe, I appreciate it. So today I'm going to be talking about a system. So if you follow this channel for any length of time, you know I talk about this all the time. It is the most important thing that you could possibly have in a warehouse as a selector is a system. If you don't have a system, you either, one, you're going to leave the warehouse because you're just so sick of picking your stuff up off the ground, or even after a year, you just get sick of it because you can't achieve the times that you want. Now, I can guarantee you right now, you will astronomically improve your standard times if you have a system. Because the system you throw without thinking. Now, if you've watched any of my case-by-case selection videos that I put in the warehouse, you know that I just throw. You don't see me fumbling through my order, maybe occasionally, but you don't see me fumbling through my order. I just throw and go, and all my pallets look the same. All right. And another thing is that I had some people say that, well, I select slow. I select slow for two reasons. The first reason is because I know I'm doing this for a video. All right, so when I'm selecting, I'm thinking in my head, okay, I got to do this, I got to edit this video, and I got to explain to myself what I'm doing later. So I throw slow for that reason. The other reason, guys, whether I was doing the video or not, I shoot for 100% or 105%. That's it. And that's where I end up every time on overtime. Remember, I just select on overtime. I don't select for 8 hours a day. I did that for 12 years back in the day. I am out of that time, thankfully. But what I am here to do is try to help you guys. Unfortunately, 99% of the trainers out there do not train a system. They tell you, hey, throw a case there, throw a case there. And then when you're on your own, you have no idea what you're doing. You need to teach a system if you're a trainer. All right. And that's what I do on this channel. So let's say we start in aisle 1 and we end in aisle 10. And we have 10 of those orders throughout the course of the week. It's the same puzzle, guys. It's the same thing every single time you do that section of the warehouse, minus a different couple pieces, because 90% of the warehouses order the same stuff. So you have to find something that works. If you are changing your order every time you start in aisle 1, and that's the base items, and take a look at your order at the end of maybe 2 aisles. If your base looks different every single time you're in that part of the warehouse, then you do not have a system. Now, we're going to look at some pictures that I took in our warehouse, and we're going to say, do they have a system or do they not have a system? Now, I could tell immediately by looking at a pallet whether they have a system or not. So let's start taking a look at some of those pictures. All right, guys, like I said, some of these pictures are blurry. I try to be as discreet as possible. I don't want people knowing I'm taking pictures of the work, but I want to take pictures of these things because it's for educational purposes, and this is just ridiculous. Now, this person was working in my part of the warehouse, and they actually had 3 orders over in here, and every single order was different. I couldn't get a chance to take a picture of the other 2. There's too many people around. I don't want people to see me whip out my camera. But every single order was different. This is the first. Now, this person's been here about 4 or 6 months. This is the first time I've ever seen them did this. I don't know what they were thinking when they said, okay, I'm going to try to do this. You do not want to column stack weight. That is one of the worst things you could do, is column stack weight, because more than likely, you're either going to drop the pallet or you're going to wrap your pallet multiple times, which this person did because they were in my section of the warehouse. They wrapped a lot, probably wasted 5 to 7 minutes wrapping this order throughout the course of their order. Guys, perfect base item. Absolute perfect base item. All these canned goods that are stacked up the middle, perfect base item. This pallet could have been tied in all the way to the top. Why they did this just boggles my mind. This is coming in and you just throw. This is throwing the throw. Every single order looks different. You need to learn a system. This person's not going to make it in the warehouse. I don't care if they're making their times or not. You're going to get sick of this. It's going to get annoying. You're going to get sick of picking up your cases off the ground, and you're going to walk out the door because you can't, even though you're making your times, you are just so frustrated with building your pallet all the time, rebuilding it and knocking it over. It's just, so yeah, this is a definite no. Tie these cases in. All right, guys, what did I just say? You do not want to column stack weight. Now, this person was on break, so I took this as an opportunity to come and take a picture of their stuff. I got the back of the pallet, and we're going to take a look at the front of the pallet too. Column stacking weight with gaps is not a good thing. You're gonna either wrap this 100 times or you're gonna drop it. And what do I say? I don't care what your system is, whether you mimic me or you have adapted your own system, you should always worry about your corners. Too many selectors build from the middle out. We need to start worrying about our corners. I told you just a little bit ago, I told you people like to walk their cases back and then forget about their back corners. I still see it every day in the warehouse. Walking cases back is like one of the biggest things. So my guess is they started in this corner and they walked their cases over and we forgot our corner. Your corners are the most important part of your order, without a doubt. We like building strong middles. Stop it, all right? I tell you all the time, if you have two cases, they should be together. We got two peanut butters right here that are the exact same. They would be on my corner. Now, I tell you I like facing cases inwards, except if I have two of the same cases, and then I will run them the length of the pallet. So I would have put these two peanut butter running like this, and then my Domino sugar would have been tied in coming towards the middle. Guys, we need to get away from this. Look at all the mayonnaise down here. You're telling me they could have had a nice wall in the back? What do I tell you all the time? If you have a lot of mixed match cases like this, you want a strong front and a strong back. I made a video on it. Go check it out, guys. Strong front, strong back, all your mixed match little cases in the middle, and you're going to have a better pallet that way. So let's take a look at the front of this pallet. Once again, guys, so what's this tell you? We have 3 rows, just column stacked all the way through the pallet. I hope they wrapped this when they came back for break. What do you think is going to happen to this whole thing when they go around a corner? Right over. They're going to drop the whole thing. Irritates me. What do I always say? 2 cases the same. We got spaghetti sauce up here. We got grape jelly here. We got apple sauces to get. Guys, stack these cases. Now, it's all right to stack them up and down like this if you have a lot of stuff, but I would have stacked these side by side. I would have had a nice solid base. There is no doubt in my mind, you give me this pallet, I will have a solid front and a solid back without a doubt, without struggling. All right, this is throwing to throw. This is not learning a system. Let's get on to the next picture. All right, guys, I immediately look at this photo and I think they have a system. Why? 2 things. 1, we are square. We are nice and square and we are tied in. All right, now people think just because cases are going in the same direction, that is column stacking. It is column stacking, but let's take a look at this. We got a column, okay? But look, midway, we got a LaCroix that's bringing weight onto this column. All right, we got a column. Now, the only thing, I don't like their bottom row, but if it's their system, that's fine. I would have just took this Chef Boyardee and moved it over a little bit to eliminate the gap. Even out my gaps on the bottom base is so important. But look at this column right here. This LaCroix is over on this column and over on this column. All right, and then we tied in this LaCroix over here. This LaCroix is tying in both columns together. So although 99% of the cases are going straight back, they are tied in. Now, I probably would have tied this in a little bit better here. We could have absolutely turned cases and tied this in. I would have had these 2 cases coming in towards the middle of the pallet, and I would have turned these if I had to. Yeah, so nice pallet. And this is a form of tying in. All right, so this person has a system, in my opinion. All right, guys, although this is blurry, like I said, some of my pictures are blurry because I try to be as discreet as possible. This person has a system. The gaps down here are a little uneven, nothing major, but we keep cases together. Look at the nice wall coming up the back, cases tied in. Now, I know this is a lot of similar cases, each level, but you give this to 90% of the new selectors in our warehouse and they will screw this up. So when I see someone stack like this, I know at least in this part of the warehouse, they have a system. They know what they're doing when they're in this part of the warehouse. So I hope they do this every single time. So looking at this, absolutely, they have a system. We're nice and square. We're not hanging off the side of the pallet. We're all the way to the perimeter of the pallet. Maybe this one's just not off a hair, but yeah, guys, nice pallet. Let's go on to the next one. All right, so what do you think here, guys? System or no system? I say yes and I say no. So the front pallet, I look at that and I'm like, this person has a system. Guys, your system will work with multiple cases throughout the whole warehouse. Okay, you heard me say that earlier. Throughout my whole warehouse, I always stick to my system with a few tweaks here and there. This front pallet is perfect. It's square. We got the little case on the middle. even though we have a gap here, we tied in our gap. We got, okay, we didn't try to tie in our LaCroix right here where it didn't work. No, we column stacked. Okay, then we tied in. And you see that on my orders. It's okay to column stack. Maybe you got to go 3 high with the column stack before you're able to tie in. Do not force a tie in. And they did that up on this front pallet. Did they do it on the back pallet? No. They forced tie-ins. All right, we got 2 Gatorades right here. They forced a tie-in. Look what you have, a small gap. We got water. What did they do? They forced a tie-in. We have a small gap. We have a small gap on the side of the Gatorade on the water. We have a small gap down here. Stick to what he did up here. This person should have stuck to what they did here, column stacking. I would have ran 2 more Gatorades the same direction as the bottom orange ones. And then this Gatorade would have been facing towards the middle, the same as the water. This Gatorade is fatter than those waters, so it is tying in. Even though it's the same direction, it's tying it in because it's going to be going from one water to the next. And guess what? If we would have ran 2 Gatorades on top of these 2 orange ones the same direction, and this water facing, or Gatorade facing in, we would have had another Gatorade facing in, there would be 0 gaps in the middle of this pallet. So they took their system up here and totally forgot it back here. And I talked about this in the past. Water, guys. Now, this person had a solid row of water on the one side of the pallet, and then they had 1 extra. Do not stick it on a corner. All right? If anything, turn it sideways and keep it in the middle so you can put Gatorade on the corner. What are you going to put there? I don't even care if they find a case to put there. It is not going to be a strong corner. It's not going to be a strong corner because more than likely they're going to turn a case upright on its end just to fit in that corner. And that is the last place you want a case upright, is on the corner. That water should not have been there. These Gatorades should have been slid out to the corner. See, this to me is common sense. This is what really irritates me. It's something like this. It's a matter of just moving this water out, sliding these 2 Gatorades over, and sticking the water in the middle. Solid corner, low inside. Problem solved. All right, guys, so on this, I got 2 pictures left. On this one right here, we had the waters being stacked. I call these problem cases. They are very wobbly. They are not good for a base. So, but if you have to start here, you don't have a choice. So I like to keep them all together. So when I seen this person stacking, I'm like, they're doing a great job. I saw the slip sheet going down. I said, I don't mind that. And then they said, okay, well, I have a full layer, so I'm going to throw them on the back pallet. Everyone thinks if I have a full layer, I'm going to fill in the back pallet. Make that a solid base, and that's not always the case, guys. These cases should all have been stacked together, and then I would have started stacking the other cases on the back. So this person has a partial system. Not bad, but I wish they would have stacked all that stuff up front. If they should know by selecting this warehouse by now, I don't even care if you've been there for 3 weeks, you should know these things stink to stack on. And I would have put them all up in the front. So they're getting there. I help people from time to time. So I probably could have went over and said, hey, you should do this. But what I do is, if I know that people are trying, I will go help them. If I see people picking up their pallets every single day, I usually skip over those people. I don't help them because they're just rushing through their orders, trying to make incentive when they don't even know how to build a pallet. Those are the people I don't help. I help the people that I know are putting in an effort to the job and actually trying to make their pallets look good and be a good selector. So I chose not to help this person. All right, guys, and the last picture I'm going to look at is this one right here. This was, once again, left. They were on break. I came back a little bit early because for this purpose, I wanted to take pictures of their pallets before they came back because I get clearer pictures. Now, before I answer, when you look at this, what do you see? Is this a person that has a system, or is this a person that does not have a system? Immediately when I look at this, I know they have a system. We're nice and square. We're nice and solid. It's not the way I do things, but it doesn't matter. This is their order, and they are very solid. And what do you notice, guys? What do I say? You don't have to fill in the whole layer. So this person felt like these 2 cases were not going to work, along with this case back on this corner. So they started their next layer up, and they're going to wait patiently. 90% of the time, you will find the cases that will work over here. 90% of the times, he's going to find the case that's going to fit, he or she's going to find the case that's going to fit in this gap in here. We're not forcing anything in that gap. So This is the last picture. Guys, this is what I want to talk about, having a system. Like I said, I know trainers do not teach this stuff. That's why I'm here. Come over to Discord. Every Friday, we're doing Discord Friday now. I'm putting your pictures on there. The last one was a little drawn out. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm actually going to look over your pictures before I do my Discord Friday photos, so I can really dissect your pictures as quick as possible and give you as much information as I possibly can. So that's it for today, guys. I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you next time.